Welcome to the Novice Builder, where every expert was once a novice.
In part 2, we laid the groundwork by installing the subfloor, marking out wall layouts, and framing all wall sections flat on the subfloor, including window and door openings with proper headers. If you haven't watched part 2 of my second floor framing yet, I've put the link down in the description, or you can head over to my channel, The Novice Builder. In part 3, we're taking the next step, raising those framed walls into place, connecting them using double top plates, and installing wall sheathing to strengthen and tie the structure together. Let's get into it. Now let's break down the actual tools and materials used to build it the right way on site. Tape measure, chalk line, framing square, speed square, laser level or spirit level, plumb bob, circular saw, hammer and framing nailer. Materials. Let's start with the structural wood. Section 1. Framing lumber. First we have 2x6 pre-cut stud, 104 5/8 inches long, kiln dried and precision trimmed. These are the standard wall studs for 9-foot ceilings. 2x6 southern pine, 16 feet long, number 2 grade. This is used for joists, rafters, and blocking throughout the framing. 2x6 pressure-treated lumber, also 16 feet long and rated for ground contact. This is ideal for sill plates or anywhere the wood touches concrete. I also use 2x12 southern pine, 16 and 10 feet long. These large dimension boards are great for floor joists, stair stringers, or deep headers. A standard 2x4 stud, pre-cut to 116 5/8 inches, is used for framing 10-foot walls. Then there's the 2x4 southern pine, 16 feet long, a go-to for plates, bracing, and layout studs. For framing tighter spans or blocking, we have 2x6 and 2x8 southern pine in shorter lengths like 10 and 18 feet. Section 2. Sheathing. For wall and roof sheathing, we use 15/32 inch 3-ply CDX plywood, often referred to as half-inch rated sheathing. Subfloors and structural decking are built using 23/32 inch CDX plywood, also known as 3/4 inch tongue and groove sheathing. Section 3. Adhesive and fasteners. To bond and strengthen connections, we apply 28-ounce construction adhesive, like liquid nails or PL Premium, between framing and subfloor layers. Before starting, safety first. Wear your protective gear, check your tools, and clear the workspace. Step 4. Raising exterior walls. Once all the walls are assembled and nailed together, it's time to raise them into place and begin tying everything together. The team starts by raising the exterior walls to save space for assembling the interior walls. After all the exterior walls are raised into place, the team proceeds to the interior walls. All walls are carefully aligned with the layout lines and secured in position using 16D nails and a nail gun. Step 5. Double top plate installation. After all the walls are upright, the team connects them using double top plates. The second top plate is installed on top of the first, overlapping wall joints and corners to lock intersecting walls together. These overlaps are staggered from the joints below to maximize strength and evenly distribute loads across the structure. The plates are fastened using 16D nails and a framing nail gun, creating a rigid, unified frame. Step 6. Wall sheathing installation. To finish off the walls, the team installs exterior wall sheathing. Use 15 by 32-inch 3-ply CDX plywood panels starting at one corner. Panels are installed vertically or horizontally, depending on code and design. Fasten using 8D nails every 6 inches along panel edges and 12 inches in the field. This locks in wall framing, adds shear strength, and preps everything for exterior finishes. In general rule, a 1/8 inch expansion gap is required between all wood-based sheathing panels, whether it's for the roof, walls, or subfloor. This gap allows the panels to naturally expand and contract with changes in temperature and humidity. Without it, the panels can swell, press against each other, and cause buckling or distortion in the structure. The team decided not to leave a 1/8 inch expansion gap because they believed a snug fit would add strength, despite this being the opposite of what's recommended for proper expansion control. That wraps up step 3 of our second floor framing project. We raised all the walls, tied everything together with double top plates, and sealed it up with wall sheathing. Now moving into the roofing phase. Part 1. How I planned my roof framing, dimensions, layout, and slope. This part walks through the full roof layout, covers all the key measurements, and explains how the framing ties into the rest of the structure. Be sure to check out the links in the description below to watch my complete framing playlist or subscribe to my channel, The Novice Builder. It really helps me keep creating more helpful and engaging videos for you. And don't forget to drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your tips, questions, or suggestions. Thank you for watching. Make sure to hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss out my upcoming project and videos.